Okay, hello guys. My name is Jonathan. I am a fellow classmate doing full stack web development for the last 12 weeks, sorry. Last full stack web development for the last 12 weeks. And I decided to give a talk because I kind of wanted to do some retrospective of our lives, basically, and how, we kind of think and view things. So yeah, I really enjoy technology, so let's get started with it. How I've grown up in tech personally in my life. I was born 2003 in Canada, so pretty remote. My parents didn't have a ton of money because they were missionaries, so usually those people don't have much money. But we had like a Windows PC at home. My grandma gave us their old Wii, so we had a little bit. The year I was born, the most popular phone ever sold was this phone right here, the Nokia 1100. But throughout my entire life, for some people, Google search, iPod, Google, computers, they've all existed throughout my life. I've never not known a point in my life where they haven't existed, right? And so today I'm going to ask though, like, what should our relationship with that technology be in our lives, right? Like, even though it exists, how should we interact with it? How do we let it personalize? But let's go back a little bit in the past and see how technology has kind of changed a little bit. So back in the 1980s, computers obviously weren't invented in the 1980s, but they became more commonplace in the 1980s. We had the original Macintosh here, but usually they were strictly for work, right? You never watched Netflix on it because they didn't exist back then, obviously. You didn't text your friends, you didn't do this. Usually it's just guys up at the corporate buildings in New York City. They were just working away, right? They weren't actually like doing it for personal entertainment or anything. And they were expensive too. The original Macintosh, now people like to bang on Apple for being like, oh, the computers are so expensive, which is kind of true, but that's besides the point. The thing is that the original Macintosh, released by Steve Jobs in 1984, cost $2,500. Today's money, that's $7,300 and counted for inflation. Now, I don't know if you get, we're in the tech space, right? So we kind of know that most normal people don't spend $7,300 on computers, right? Maybe some YouTubers do and some crazy people, but besides that, that's not normal, right? So it's purely like your company is buying you a computer, you're doing it for work, or you're some rich dude like, hey, I got a computer. But the thing about it is that with the Macintosh, it started something massive, a snowball effect on the tech community that no one could see at the time, or maybe some could. I have no idea, I didn't exist back then, so I can't really say. But basically the graphical user interface allowed us to build more technology on top of it, each becoming more personal than the last one. The iPhone, the iPod allow us to develop, work faster, and make it more accessible to more people. Basically allowing the snowball effect where technology has become more like, before then you had to type into the command line interface, right? You had to tell the computer specifically what to do. But after that point, it became more of what we made the computers, which is a bigger thing of how technology evolved more in our personal lives. And like I was saying, it has improved with us. It has brought instantaneous communication, milliseconds, and at worst, a few seconds, or else we say fooey with that. It literally has shortened our attention span too. Lightning fast communication, we're constantly connected all the time. We have infinite knowledge, right? Of all recorded human history, nearly, we have access to on the internet. And also, and we also have a personal camera everywhere. We record everything and all that data, everything like that. And so, and the crazy thing is too, is that as of April last month, there are 5.44 billion internet users worldwide, across the entire world, accounting for 67% of the human population. That is insane. And me as a developer, as a web developer, if I could be a small part of that, that is crazy. The responsibility I get to hold of like being able to create stuff and add to that. But the thing about it is that basically we have that responsibility as developers and as coders to make it a better place rather than a worse. So there's all this amazing stuff about technology, right? It's made our lives better. It's improved a lot. Our lives are so much easier now. I think we could all agree that it's easier now than it was back then, and sort of how we do things is quicker, faster, more efficient. But let's take a step back, shall we? Take a step back and say, well, this technology is great. It was designed by humans for humans, but do we really need to use it all the time? Is it really always benefiting our lives? Because I think maybe we can all agree that a lot of people discuss about mental health and how it can have some negative effects with too much usage. With anything in life, if you use it too much, it can have negative benefits. Also, being a developer, The main thing about technology is that we've had problems in life and we use technology to solve that, right? And so what are we doing to do that, right? But making people's lives easier as well is one of the biggest things that is also a part of technology, right? But the thing about it is that we can get so caught up in like work, coding, like bugs. Everything is like, it's constant problems, nothing is working. And that's great. Like that's part of the grind, that's how it works. That's the thing, is at the end of the day, whether you're working for a company, whether you're doing freelancing, no matter what part of it, you're always working for people. Somewhere at the line, there's a client side where you're building it for someone or something, right? In the human interactions. And so fundamentally, how are we building it so that instead of it rather degrading, I wouldn't say degrading people's lives, but rather making their lives better in a way, right? Like my earlier point is that we work so hard, but we got to make sure that it's worth it. And there's a lot of crap content out there. There's a lot of crap stuff, but I challenge you guys, make great stuff, contribute to the world in a meaningful way. Technology doesn't always benefit us sometimes. It doesn't have to be in every single situation. Going back to my earlier question, what should our relationship with our technology be, right? Because, like I was saying, as much as thousands of lines we probably write in our lives, as much as security patches, whatever tech space you are, we can't ever take that to the grave. But I don't think I've ever heard a deathbed wish where it's like, I wish I worked harder in my life. It's usually, I wish I spent more time with my family, my friends. And so learn to not just make your entire life about technology. No, some people, that's what they want to do. And you know what? That's fine. I'm just challenging you, saying that there's more to life than technology. It's fantastic. It's great. I love it too. I don't blame you guys. We're all here for technology, but there's so many things outside. I mean, there's trees out there. There's beautiful nature. Maybe instead of fixing that bug, you just leave it for a second. Go touch some grass. Kidding, no. Take a moment in silence and appreciate the peacefulness of wherever you live. Talk to your friends, talk to your family. Socialization can be difficult sometimes for us introverts, but that's fine. And if you live in Saskatchewan, I don't know what to tell you. The thing about it is that it's so easy to get sucked into the world and just work. But we really got to take a step back. So yeah, that's my main point, is that our relationship with technology, sometimes we just have to review it and say, what should it be in our lives? That's it. But yeah, that's my talk right there.